Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Eloquent English Enterprise. I'm back as promised with the literary analysis of the poem The Trees, right? And this is again on request from one of my very close associates. So here it is, ma'am. That's for you. And since it's going to be a little long, I think I must start off with the presentation straight away. So here it is. And as I switch over to my presentation, I'd like to once again thank all of my subscribers for being a part of Eloquent English Enterprise. So once again, a very hearty welcome to my channel. I hope this video serves as a good help, and maybe I'm able to come up to your expectations. So here we are. Let's start off with the presentation itself. So today it's going to be the literary analysis of The Trees, a poem by Adrienne Rich. All right. And here it is. Firstly, let's introduce the poet to you. Adrienne Rich, born 1929, and she was alive till 2012. She was an American poet who wrote in English and also an essayist, and more importantly, she was a feminist. She is known for her politically engaged writing and exploration of themes like feminism, oppression, freedom, and self-identity. She used poetry as a tool to fight for social change and was deeply involved in activism. Her poems often have a free flowing structure, this one being no exception, challenging the traditional poetic forms of rhyme and meter, etc. Now, let's go for the overview of the poem. I think I'll have to minimize myself, otherwise, this corner will keep getting obstructed. Okay, let's still carry on. So, the overview. Now, this is a symbolic and metaphorical poem which explores the themes of freedom, escape, and the struggle against oppression. This also describes the trees breaking free from a confined space, symbolizing nature's rebellion, and the poet's deeper message about human oppression, especially that of women. So this has a deceptively simple narrative. We are going to discuss it again as one of the figures of speech employed in the poem. But also there's a deeper symbolic meaning about resistance and the need for change. Okay, so there are a few more things which I'd like to discuss over here about the poem before we delve deeper. Firstly, this poem is quite significant. Now, the question is, since when have we seen trees moving out of their own accord? Only in imagination or maybe in fairy tales, but here they are there breaking out of their interior, be it a house, a conservatory, or whatever, maybe a greenhouse or a covered veranda. So they're basically shifting away from domestic confines and they're moving towards a forest, which is a larger kind of a canvas where they may probably be free of the confinement. And this is a highly significant change. Now, why is this change significant? Is because trees make up the forest, which now, up till now, has been empty for so many days and nights and years. Maybe this is symbolic of certain type of people who've been left in the dark, maybe for a very, very long period where they have not been able to discover their own true identities or probably where they actually belong to. And knowing Miss Adrienne for her feminist leanings, it is safe to suggest that the forest is the forest of womanhood. Now, this new forest will take shape very quickly, overnight, as she says, pointing towards a sort of a sea change in identity, a collective identity of feminists or females or women. Now, this action is supposed to be taking place at night. This change is profound, of roots and all, the whole tree. And we have to note the imagery, which again we are going to discuss in the figures of speech part. And here also there are certain words which stand out. Work, disengage, strain, stiff, shuffling, moving. All of these signify change. There's a line number 14, which gives the reader quite a bit of clarity that similarly, like newly discharged patients, surely suggesting that the trees were sick. Okay, when we talk of patients, probably the trees have been sick, they've been in the hospital, and now they are moving out because they have healed up and now they are going to live their own lives. The third stanza introduces the speaker in the first person. Here is a woman, the reader must presume, writing long letters and remaining aloof from all this tree action. Now, who is she writing these letters to? She doesn't bother to mention the quiet revolution. Rather, she barely makes a mention of it, which means that probably she does acknowledge it, but isn't quite surprised by it. She has seen it coming, perhaps. She has known for quite some time that the trees would, move out towards their freedom. Um, this probably is a kind of a voice from her own inside, from her whispers from her own self. In the final stanza, the speaker, makes the reader listen. She wants attention. Glass is breaking. Now, glass breaking means shattering of age-old traditions. And glass also signifies that though it has been it has been a see-through kind of a thing, like it's not opaque, it is something which is transparent, but it is hard at the same time. And if you break glass, it hurts. So it's symbolic of an invisible cage which is there, not to be seen, but it limits your progress. We're going to talk about imagery and all later, though I'll just mention one more that the poem becomes cinematic as the moon, which is a symbol of femininity, emotion, and physical change. It breaks like a mirror into many pieces. Like it's another symbol of the reflected former self of the poet. The fragmented image lighting up the tallest tree, which is the oak in this context. And this oak is the strongest and most durable of all trees. So this is like in a gist. You may listen to this commentary again. You may replay it. So that was the overview of the poem. I couldn't type down so much, so I've just given it as a commentary. Coming to the gist of the poem, I've already said a lot. You could just read through. The trees are initially described as confined within a house. They are not able to grow. So they move, they push against the glass, and they break free. The speaker observes their gradual escape and transformation. By the end, the trees will have fully regained their freedom, which signifies liberation and renewal. And however, the speaker remains in the house as just an observer. And this could be interpreted as a commentary on personal versus collective freedom. The literary devices quickly, personification, trees are moving, breaking, escaping, etc. Imagery, vivid descriptions of the trees' movements, the night sky, the silence, etc. They create a visual and sensory experience. Symbolism, definitely, the trees symbolize oppressed individuals, especially women, and the glass house represents societal restrictions. Enjambment, we know there's no comma or a full stop. There are no punctuations. The poem flows freely from one line to another. And metaphor, the confined trees represent the suppressed voices of women, and their escape signifies breaking free from oppression. Rhyme scheme and structure, simple, free verse. It doesn't follow any rhyme scheme, etc. So this reinforces the theme of freedom. And short and long lines are mixed, creating a fluid and organic feel, much like the movement of trees. The underlying message of the poem is freedom from oppression, connection with nature, rebellion and change, and last but not the least, the role of the observer, which I'm going to explain. The speaker witnesses the trees escape but does not actively participate because she's raising questions about personal versus collective action in the fight for freedom. So this is something which is a little different from the other underlying messages. The writing style of our poet, she's concise and symbolic. She definitely has a feminist perspective. She uses free verse, more so to stand for liberation and rebellion. And she's conversational but profound. The poem appears simple at first, but when you analyze it deeply, you can sense the strong political and social messages which are there in the undercurrent. Relevance to contemporary lifestyle. Women's empowerment has become a big thing today. So the poem remains relevant in today's context of feminism and gender equality because still women are trying to find a niche for themselves. Environmental consciousness. The idea of trees reclaiming their space is also symbolic of deforestation and environmental conservation. Next one, breaking of social barriers. The tree is moving out from the glass house. So this is the breaking of traditional societal norms and finding one's own true identity. Mental and emotional liberation as well. It's not just physical liberation. So if you are feeling trapped in a restrictive environment, you have to sort of find liberation for yourself. You need even an emotional catharsis, personally, professionally, emotionally, whatever. But along with physical liberation, even emotional liberation is the need of the hour. So, to conclude, we can just say that the poem in itself is more than just a poem about nature. It is a very, very powerful allegory. The undercurrent of the poem is that of resistance, transformation, and liberation. Adrienne Rich uses simple yet evocative language to craft a message about the importance of breaking free from confinement. The poem remains highly relevant in discussions about women's rights, social oppression, and the need for change. And lastly, just like the trees in the poem, people must strive to break through societal and personal limitations to reach true freedom. Their self identity needs to be found at the earliest. So that was all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I've rushed through it to keep the time shorter. So if you've liked it, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I want more subscribers. I would love to have more people on my team. And please do share this video with others who may probably benefit from it. So I haven't decided about the new one, but I'm going to come back with something very, very interesting. In all probability, I'll be coming up with words, the simple ones that we use in our daily conversation, and a few words which can substitute these simpler words to make your language more effective. Right? So that was all for today. Thank you so much. And I'm sure you've had a very relaxed weekend. So, wishing you a happy Monday tomorrow. And I'll be back soon. Thank you so much. Have a good